say
Top Billin. Yo, Top Billin to ya. Man, I could not be any more excited for my guy, Coach Brent Venables out there. Got that job at Oklahoma, of all places. Oklahoma? That's your first job? Right? That's your first and your last job. Because I would imagine that would be like being a virgin. And then the first chick you pop off is Jennifer Lopez. How do you go from that? How do you go back to something else after that? Think about that. That man's first job. Listen, let's be real here. Some of us had to start with some community pussy out there. We don't want to talk about that. This man started with Oklahoma. He started with the Jennifer Lopez of college programs. And I couldn't be any more happier for this guy. I've met this guy before. He is extremely nice. One of the nicest guys that I met in this business. Him, former Duke head coach David Cutcliffe, Arkansas head coach Sam Pittman. These are some of the nicest guys you could ever meet. And this guy is a complete wizard. He let me pick his brain about defensive scheme and concepts when I was at Clemson Junior Day. Fantastic guy. He's going to do wonderful things for the University of Oklahoma. I have no doubts about that, especially if you're talking about transitioning to the SEC in a while. Now, I had a whole bunch of people say a whole bunch of different goofy shit when I did that video about Oklahoma definitely should go after Brent Venables if they want to win a natty in the future. And think about this right here. This man was running an SEC program already. Clemson is just an extra SEC team. That's why I was winning those national championships. They recruit the same exact footprint, the same exact kids as Alabama and Georgia, and they've won quite a few battles over those guys, despite doing things a little bit differently on the trail, stuff that I don't necessarily want to put out there to get anyone in trouble. Let's just say Clemson runs a very clean program. I know Brent Venables is going to run a very clean program at Oklahoma, and the results show for it. Think about this, man. In this sorry-ass year that Clemson just had on the offensive side of the ball, where he's not getting much offensive help, he still turned in a top 10 defensive performance. People are going to be like, well, it's the ACC. And to that, I say, fuck you. Don't be talking about my conference like that, baby. Virginia Tech Hokies for life. But with that being said, hey, they still play Georgia this year. Did Georgia score an offensive touchdown? I'll hang up and wait. And that was with the quarterback that everybody wants to play over the current quarterback now. So that guy can recruit his ass off. I even had somebody say something like he doesn't have the personality to be a recruiter. I can't say that R word. Are you not bright? Think about that, man. This man, I've been around this man. He's recruited several kids that I've worked with. This guy is an animal on the recruiting trail. His personality is perfect. I don't understand how somebody could say that. That's just people just doing the internet talking thing where you talk out the side of your neck. So this guy does not need a Dabo Swinney to close for him. That doesn't even make any sense to me. But I'm telling you right now, this guy can get the type of kids at Oklahoma. Think about that. Clemson was a self-made program. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't have that long history of being great program like Oklahoma. Oklahoma's cool as shit. You don't have to convince kids that much to go to Oklahoma anyway. So he's going to be able to get a certain style of kid to fit his defense. He's tried and true in his approach. He knows exactly what he wants for his defense. He's not learning on the job or anything like that. I would let this guy come in and run his own defense. If he does go out and get a Jeff Lebby or somebody like that, they're the head coach of the offense. Let this man run his own defense at least for a year or two and transition somebody else to run it. But let him do what he does best right now, and you can reap the benefits of having a better defense than you have now. Now, I'm going to have to get the kids in there. I see a whole bunch of kids leaving. I would think that nobody would want to leave on the defensive side of the ball. You get a chance to play for Brent Venables, but, hey, kids are going to be kids, right? But with that being said, man, I kind of wanted to repackage a film study that I did before when I used to cover Clemson. And talking about the adaptability of Clemson's front and trying to see how that will work for OU sometime in the future. But I'll jump in and do some more current stuff on the man. But I definitely wanted to come back here and give this man his props for getting Oklahoma as his first and only job, taking his time and doing it right. And people kept coming thinking that they know this dude. You don't know these people just because you hear something on the internet or on a message board. This guy was waiting for the right opportunity. Going to Oklahoma and being a head coach, not the same as being offered a head coaching job at Louisville or South Carolina or something like that. just no disrespect for those schools, but it's Oklahoma. Those are the type of jobs you don't turn down. Those jobs come around every blue moon. So now you see the type of job that he was waiting for. Absolutely perfect. All right. With that being said, man, salute to everybody out there, man. Make sure you send in that quality support if you haven't already. And check this out.
What more can I say?
Top Billin.
Extremely impressed with what I see from Clemson in both the run game and run defense department. They have it on lock right now. That's the basis of a championship team to me. We know that they have the athletes and the personnel, probably the most talented roster in the entire country. But man, they're starting to put it together in the phases that you just absolutely need to be able to make someone one-dimensional. All right, so they're playing a good all-gap style defense here. Very reminiscent of 2011, 2012 Alabama. Gonna have guys right here. All gaps are gonna be accounted for. Force players, contain players from the back end, good tackling corners, everything of the sort. All right, so we're gonna have a split zone right here. Gonna have zone motion going towards the left from the entire offensive line. Gonna have a cross formation block right here by the H-back, targeting the end man on the line of scrimmage. And you're gonna have inside zone right here. What they do this is, though, Kellen opens it up to make it look kind of like a zone read, with the target being walked out Austin Bryant here. However, with him being flexed out, he's not necessarily an option player because he's the target of the cross formation block too. So we'll see this all gap style defense. All right, so if we get it going right here, see things starting to take shape. First of all, notice that Clemson is not blown off the line of scrimmage. So right there, you know that it's not going to be good for the opposition right there. All right, so if you look at these gaps right here, you would have somebody accounted for right here. You have Dexter Lawrence being doubled. You have Christian Wilkins coming free right here on this particular A gap. Austin Bryant with the backside / force. Got an approaching Kendall Joseph right here in this B gap. Kayvon Watts is still out here. He would have contained. And of course, you got second level help coming either way from Trey Lamar right here. So there's really nowhere to go. If you look at it right there, nice job by Christian Wilkins right there of breaking free, but also manning that particular gap. And it just leaves Kendall Joseph one-on-one. That's what you want. If you're a weak side linebacker right there, you want to be left clean. And we see right there, they converge, man. They're always converging like a pack of hyenas. All right, I like this Texas A&M stuff because Texas A&M has put up some pretty gaudy rushing stats against quality opposition out there and had really nothing to offer Clemson in the run department. So what we see here, a gun split, got a pin and pull going on at the point of attack. So you have your man Dexter Lawrence getting pinned, the right guard coming around on a pull block. Then you have your lead block right here, creating that alley for your man Trayvon Williams to come on the sweep. So if we can see here, sometimes run defense is about layers. So if you see right here, Clelin Ferrell approaching this particular mesh point, it's a little bit of bobble at the mesh point right here, but you can see the patience in it. And if we were to see this right here, had this run gotten by Clelin Ferrell, you have Kendall Joseph approaching right here. And had he been blocked, you have another safety out here coming around as well. Not exactly sure who that is. It's Tanner Muse. So as you roll that bad boy right here, it doesn't even get past Clelin Ferrell. That's what great run defense is about. Your defensive line has to contribute. A lot of teams only get secondary contribution, meaning not secondary, but second level contribution from their rushing defense department. But Clemson, if you get around that first line of defense, consider yourself lucky, because the second level of defense is just as brutal, but it's just hard to get by that first level of defense with the down lineman. All right, Georgia Tech is currently the #1 rushing attack in the entire country. Coincidentally, I believe Clemson is like #4. So it goes to show you the style of ball they're playing with this particular season. But Georgia Tech had nothing to offer Clemson either in the rushing department, despite being the #1 running attack in the country. You see your average speed option play here out of this flex bone option. You're going to have a dive right here. However, you got the sweep man coming through here for the speed part of this. So you're going to have your 3 players on the end, Cleveland Farrell, Isaiah Simmons, and Trey Lamar, all defending this bad boy out here to the field side. So this is some pretty good stuff right here. You have to be disciplined. So first you're going to notice your man Cleveland Farrell shoot in and Isaiah Simmons behind him. So they're your force and contain players right there. And Trey Lamar is your cleanup man. So we see right here, Cleveland Farrell squeezes down, have Simmons coming through right here. His job is to take the quarterback and to force him to pitch the ball. So that's good discipline. A lot of guys would forego that particular assignment and just go after the running back or try to play it in between. But he does a great job right there because he trusts his guy, the cleanup man, coming through. And the cleanup man is the baddest man on the planet. Him and LSU's Devin White, the 2 best linebackers in the country. But Devin White's a little dude compared to Trey Lamar, not necessarily in weight, but definitely in height. This man's a true 6'4", 250 something pounds. Nobody looks like this guy on the field, man. Trey Lamar is an absolute monster, and all he does is just make plays on the ball. Classic linebacker. You got to have those guys in a good run defense. So Clemson is absolutely loaded across the board in its front and can defend the run with the best of them. Remember when I said good run defense comes from all levels? You can really see it here on this particular pitch play. Just a simple pitch play to the strength of the formation here on the close side. So you'll have your man running through here, but watch who the contained player ends up being and how physical he is. Also watch for some of these cut blocks down here and how agile Clemson is, because there's a bunch of Georgia Tech players on the ground and nobody from Clemson ends up on the ground, so they're able to left to pursue the ball. And I like the different variations of personnel, having a guy like Isaiah Simmons who can play up and play back, can play at depth if necessary, but can roam that box there as a 6'2", 230-pound hybrid safety linebacker rover type. All right, last one here. See this bad boy? See him coming right there. That's would be one AJ Terrell from Atlanta, Georgia. Saw him play a million times when he was in high school. Did a ton of film study on him. Very, very good player. I thought he would be a better safety than cornerback, but he's turned into a pretty good cornerback too. But he still has those safety skills that I like as a former safety myself. It's just his ability to tackle. He's a pretty sure tackler. You see him get that head out the way there, force a fumble, head on the ball. Nasty. It's coming from your cornerback. You trying to run outside on him? Good luck with that. It's like having another safety out there. All right. Well, thank you for watching. Shout out to everybody who's at the end of the video. Your boy Murph, the Underground King, top Billin Sports, real football heads. Stay to the end. Watch it all. All right. So make sure you like. Make sure you subscribe to this bad boy. Let me know what's up in the comment section. What you Clemson people would like to see next. Taking requests and orders for the most part, trying to build up some of this Clemson content here. So stay tuned and stay subscribed at Top Billin Sports. Murph Baldwin, the Underground King. Peace. All right, gang, watching the spring games got me wondering, to move forward, we have to look back. I want to know if Clemson is able to replicate a lot of the things that it's done in the past. Now, I think it should be absolutely no problem. If anything, man, it maybe actually get a little bit more varied. Now, Clemson known as a 4-3 outfit, but check this out right here. In certain instances, it's so versatile within its personnel that it's able to morph itself into an odd front. So this is theoretically, when you see the zero technique right here, you see, I would have to guess that would be Christian Wilkins. Look at it. Christian Wilkins lined up at a 0 technique. I think you have Niles Pinckney here. He's lined up at a 5 technique. And you have Austin Bryant, traditionally your 6 or 7 technique, lined up at a 5 technique. And then you bring down Isaiah Simmons,
to play theoretically a strong side outside linebacker, line of scrimmage player. Then you take your end and you bump him out. Same thing as well. Cleveland Farrell at a 3-4 linebacker right here. So this fabricated pressure scheme is something dope. And Clemson could have easily been a 3-4 offer the entire time playing something like this because of the variance in personnel. Now you got Kendall Joseph coming on here. This is going to be your average run of the mill fire zone. You're going to have your boy Cleveland Farrell, right, sinking into the hook zone. Same thing with Isaiah. You have my man floating kind of a shallow zone right here. That would be one Trey Lamar. And you have wide rushes by your 5 techniques, Pinckney and Austin Bryant right here. So when you're looking at this and you're Tua Tagovailoa, although we're not going to run this full play because you guys are going to get mad and cry because this was the post that your man Tanner Muse got beat on. But you can just see what they were trying to do right here to confuse this guy. And I saw where they were like, they did a lot of stuff on film that they didn't really do before. So you have man coverage right here by your normal field corner, but he's playing the boundary right now, and AJ Terrell. So that's a different look as well, even though he's quickly beat on the inside, real off the rip right there. But man, I think stuff like this is actually very dope. Running again. It's time slower. So you can see the chaos and confusion it causes. And you can see your man Tua Tagovailoa. You're going to play this guy again, perhaps. Maybe, maybe not. We'll see. But you see him staring this down the whole way, like I told you guys before during the playoffs. He does not go through any type of progression. So anybody was saying that about Trevor Lawrence, they should have also looked at Tua Tagovailoa, who was also young in his progression as a player. But he's staring this down the whole way right here. But man, imagine now you can have a guy like a Trey Lamar be a Shaq Smith to where he's able to sink back in the zone. He has a lot more athleticism right there. Or if you have somebody sinking right here, it's an Xavier Thomas, who's one of the faster guys you'll see on a line of scrimmage player, and he's able to float zones right here. You still have Isaiah Simmons right there. You got just a lot more speed up front. Even a guy like Justin Foster, if this was him, I think is probably a little bit better athlete than an Austin Bryant. So we'll have to see about some of the inside guys right here. But that just brings me to some of the stuff that I saw in the spring game as far as the guys on the inside, and then Justin Foster and those guys as well. All right, see, now look at this one right here. This is the versatility of it. So this is an under front right here. So you still have your 4-man front right here. Now you bring your line of scrimmage. Now you bring your off-ball linebacker, your strong side linebacker. In this case, is Skalski, and he plays right over the tight end right here. So in doing that, you have to have a guy whose line of scrimmage sound. So a guy like Skalski is extremely physical, whereas a guy like Isaiah Simmons, who would normally be your strong side linebacker, you wouldn't necessarily play him in a situation like that. At least last year. Maybe this year is a little bit different, but you don't even have to do that. You can still run it this way because Skalski's still there. So you're going to have your regular inside zone right here. You'll have, which shows check this out. So you're going to have obviously a combo right here coming off your 6 technique. And Jonah Williams right here is going to combo up right here to your man, I think Trey Lamar. So Trey Lamar meets this in a hole right here. You know, he's extremely sound moving forward. So that's the strength of that right there. He actually forces Josh Jacobs, who kind of wants to run there. He forces him to kind of bounce it to the outside where Skalski's in here doing work against Irv Smith, the tight end, and these guys right here. Straight traffic work right here. So that's having versatility within your scheme. See it right there? Boom, minimum gain. Everybody's in on it too. So Cleveland Farrell, Skalski right there, whole bunch of people, a bunch of meeting of the minds right there. But Trey Lamar actually makes this play to me because he fills and spills, right? Fill the gap, spill the run to the outside. Kayvon Wallace, extremely sound when it comes to tackling. One of my favorite players on the team right there. He fills his gap as well. AJ Terrell has contained right here, right? Cleveland Farrell, everybody in here doing work. But watch Skalski get off the block. Skalski working with Irv Smith. You see him, discard him, and he's on Josh Jacobs, the running back, for a minimum play. That's Clemson football right there. It's about stopping the run first and foremost, and they have to be able to replicate that. I don't care about the offense, none of that stuff right there. This has to be the modus operandi. This has to be the major first order of business for this particular team, stopping the run, just like this. All right, one hand washes the other, both wash the face. All these guys work in concert. So you're back in your regular even front alignment right here, where you have your 2-eye right here. I'm assuming that's Albert Huggins, and you will have Christian Wilkins lined up at a 3 technique right here. But then you have all your backers off the line of scrimmage, right? So you have almost a stack formation with the backers. Obviously, if this guy right here, the strength of the formation, if he was lined up more at like a sniffer position, Skalski would be moved inside, and you would have just almost pretty much a 4-3 stack right here. So when you see something like this, and you see Terrell pressed up on Devontae Smith, who's on the tight split right here, you can see the alignment. They're kind of telegraphing this right here, and you know what it is. But even with that being said, you see, I want to say there's Trayvon Mullen right here, pressed up against Henry Ruggs right here. So everybody's on a tight split right there. So you know that's going to be man-to-man defense, and they're going to want to try to target the outside. So that's why you will put everybody on the inside right here, because there's more to the outside. So my man A.J. Terrell, he's going to be man-to-man right here with Devontae Smith running an out route. He's pretty much beat, and I think they're just probably running kind of a table route right here with Irv Smith, pretty much a flat route. But you can see the closing speed by a guy like Kayvon Wallace, who is almost a pseudo line of scrimmage player, or a front 7 player, I'm sorry, to be able to get out there in space and tackle this. So really good work right here. And it just shows you the versatility within the front. So this is almost different personnel and different alignment groupings on each of these plays right here. Look at the closing speed right there. They just needed 3 yards. Just needed 3 yards, and they weren't able to get that bad boy. And look at the front right here. You got Trey Lamar attacking the line of scrimmage right there. Trey Lamar had an interesting way of running, man. It's like he had 6 bad knees. He had more knees than everybody else, and they all were bad. But check that out right there. Austin Brown on the wide rush. He has contained, making sure nothing comes out the backside over there. Skalski kind of staying home. And more edge contained from Farrell. The rest outside work. And then you have Tanner Muse at a post safety right here. A lot of stuff that Clemson does, man. Probably my favorite defense in the entire country. At least out of all the elite defense. There's some other guys that play some really good defenses, like Wisconsin. LSU plays some great defense, great defensive scheme. Michigan too. But man, that's some really good work right there. I love 4-3 teams. See, Clemson defies the logic, because a lot of people say you have to be a 3-4 team to be versatile within your scheme. And I always argue against that. I played in 4-3 schemes where we did a lot of different stuff. And Clemson and Brent Venables, to me, by far the best of getting the most and being able to vary what you see out of a 4-3. Damn good defense. But do you think they have the talent on here to replicate? Will it get better? Will it stay the same? Let me know right here up on the site. All right? Yeah. Thank you for watching.
What more can I say?
Top Billin.